Jess,
Chad.
what do you miss most about early 2000s comedy movies?
Comedy movies?
Yeah.
What do I miss most?
Sure.
I don't
Or just
know.
in general.
Like, to people who listen, he legit does not fucking tell me what the hell is going to come out of his mouth for these things. So I am put on the spot every single time. I don't know.
I mean, you can't ignore the fact that there is a difference between early 2000s comedy movies and comedy movies today.
Sure, but I also didn't like a lot of the comedy movies back then.
Yeah,
like,
but
late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of it was like overly raunchy just to be raunchy. You know, your American Pie and Grandma's Boy was probably later, but like that style of comedy movie.
Right. I mean,
I just
the
don't
National
really
Lampoon movies were trying to reach a new audience around this time period. So yeah, things like Grandma's Boy and Van Wilder.
See, I didn't like
all
that
those
either.
movies were coming.
Van Wilder made me hate Ryan Reynolds for far too long, and I was so reluctant to admit when we watched Deadpool that he was actually really good. Because
he's good.
He's too good at that. Like, he did the same kind of character in Waiting.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And I was like, ugh.
That similar type of, teen comedy, raunchy, early 2000s.
Yeah. So I don't know what I miss. I will say I guess some of the byplay, it's certainly not PC, but some of my favorite aspects of the movie we're talking about today would probably not happen now.
Oh, no. Not
specifically at all. See, if I get too much into it, then we'll say what the movie is.
Especially when it comes to like the sexuality and stuff like that. But this was also the era of DVDs being massively popular. Yes.
Woo! Oh my God.
This is the version we couldn't show you in theaters.
Too hot for TV. Like that type of shit. That's not what I mean. That's not what I'm revolving.
And it literally had like a minute and a half of tits in it.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. I have some. I'm not impressed. Been there, seen them. Yep. They're boobs.
Yep.
But no, what I mean specifically, and I mean, I guess we'll talk a little bit more about it, but the relationship between Ira and Harry, the byplay,
Whoa, we haven't even...
Well, you asked what I miss. That would be what I miss.
Okay, so character interaction or...
I don't know. Start the fucking show so we can, like, talk about him.
All right, fine. Let's do that.
Show about pop culture stuff. We keep watching and connected, but it's never enough. Talking with our friends about our favorite things, TV shows and movies and some random swearing. Hey! 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 This is the pretty little podcast.
Hello, all you pretty little people. This is the Pretty Little Podcast. I'm your host, Deadbeat Chad. With me is just Jess.
Hello.
What are we talking about today, Jess?
We're talking about evolution, and I really like this movie, and thank you for doing an episode on this.
Yeah, evolution is, it came out in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, it's a sci-fi comedy movie similar to like a Mars Attacks or what else? I mean, even Independence Day is kind of reminiscent of this.
Yeah, Evolution is a 2001...
Galaxy Quest is another one.
I love Galaxy Quest. American science fiction comedy film directed by Ivan Reitman and written by David Diamond and David Weissman, based on a story by Don Jacoby. Wow, I can't talk today. The film stars David Duchovny, Orlando Jones, Sean William Scott, Julianne Moore, and Ted Levine in lead roles. The plot follows college professor Ira Kane and geologist Harry Block as they investigate a meteor crash in Arizona, only to discover that it harbors rapidly evolving extraterrestrial life forms. This is so funny to me. Right.
And when you're watching a movie like this, and obviously, like, it's going to have a lighthearted feel to it.
Sure.
It's going to be a zany goofball comedy, just like
but with
many movies like this coming out
at the time. Basis, like possibilities, and I like that.
But when you break down what they're actually dealing with here, it's pretty terrifying.
Oh, it's fucking, yes. This is a world ender situation.
Yes. That no one's taking seriously.
Right.
At all.
Until one side does, and then the government won't listen. And then it very nearly, if not for an unexpected but scientifically based solution. I mean, humanity was very nearly wiped out in this movie.
Yes.
Could have.
Yeah, again, it's another one of those
If
like
not for-
alien invasion type movie comedies that were coming out at this time.
Sure,
I mean,
and it is very much an Ivan Reitman movie. Very much so. It has the feel.
Yeah.
It's very much like at the time kind of an updated Ghostbusters type of thing.
Sure,
you know,
yeah, there are
it's
definitely, you could tell that
and-
there are elements of Ghostbusters in this.
Yeah.
You know, just with the...
Not just Dan Aykroyd, who makes his triumphant return to the Pretty Little Podcast.
Yes, he does. R.I.P. Dan Aykroyd.
He's not dead.
Hey, you know what?
No,
I'm getting in early, okay?
No,
I will miss that man when he's gone.
You broke my brain for a second. I was like, wait, hold on. Because we just recently,
Yeah,
at
a
the
lot of
time
people were very confused by that statement, I'm sure.
Several celebrities have recently died. And I was like, shit, how did I miss that? I was about to get real sad.
No, he's very much alive.
Good.
Like I mentioned earlier, this movie, it's an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
You know, there's tons of people in this movie. Even
So
if you
many.
don't know their name,
Little bit part.
you'll be like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Like Ethan Suplee.
I
Do
don't
you
know
recognize
who
the
it
name?
is. No.
Yeah, he's the guy from Mallrats that couldn't get the magic eye poster to work.
Oh.
He's in a lot of shit.
Oh. Yeah.
Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, he was in a lot of... And by the way, good for him. Have you seen him lately?
I didn't know who he was. So
he
no,
apparently,
I haven't.
like lost a ton of weight and hit the gym, so he's like all buff now.
Oh, so he's one of the two college students. in
Yes.
this. Is he the bigger one?
Yes.
Like the taller guy?
Yeah.
Okay, that guy.
Yes,
Even
he's
still, I don't remember.
if you see him, you're
Mallrats
like,
that
oh,
well.
yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah, he was in all kinds of things.
Ty Burrell, he's another one that's just like, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
You mentioned Ted Levine is in this, who is
Yeah.
probably most known for playing
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo
Yeah.
Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, very different here.
Yeah,
Keeps his pants on,
extremely
no
different.
tuckage.
But yeah, I mean, you could tell it's him. You know.
Yeah, well, his voice is still the same, and his eyebrows are on point. And he has crazy eyebrows.
Yeah, for sure. David Duchovny is spearheading this thing with Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
This is the
Their chemistry is
cop
what I love.
chemistry. You know, it's that type of
Their relationship is a big reason why I love this movie so much.
yeah.
They're so good.
It's. I think that with these two, and we're going to get into David Duchovny because it's really hard for me to separate him from Fox Mulder. It just is. I don't.
Yes, I know.
I don't think. I think while he's good in this movie, and it may be because it is just kind of a lighthearted sci-fi thing,
Well, it's very
similar
much
to the X-Files.
It's a parody in a lot of ways of Mulder, like of what he could have been if he was slightly different. You know, and just like
Right,
Julianne
but
Moore looks kind of like Scully.
I've honestly never thought Dave. I think he's perfect for Fox Mulder.
Uh-huh.
I've never thought he was a good actor. I just never have. I've seen him in other roles, even in like Californication. I don't think he was all that great.
I think I saw some of it. I love him in this. I think he is so fucking funny. But Orlando Jones, that's why I keep saying the two of them are perfect
Right. Yes.
together.
And Orlando Jones definitely kind of steals the show in this film.
100%.
He is definitely the comedy relief.
Oh my God. He kills me. I love him in this so much.
Yeah, this is one of his better things. And I mean, for those of you old enough to remember, at this time, Orlando Jones
He
was
the 7-Up guy.
he was most known as the guy on the 7-Up commercials.
Yeah.
Make 7 up yours.
Yeah, he was on Mad TV too, but I didn't watch Mad TV.
Yes, he was on Mad TV. I mean, well, I watched it waiting for Saturday Night Live.
Oh. Yeah.
And then I would switch the channel.
What I really liked him in later on, which is extremely different role, is Anasi in American Gods, who was one of my favorite characters
and
in
he
the
is
book.
awesome in that.
He was stellar.
Yeah, every one of you go out and watch American Gods. That show is great.
Yeah, I love the book.
But that is also a very, very different role.
That's what I'm saying. It's
for
not
Orlando Jones at all.
There's
Maybe
moments, but
maybe it's
he
because
was
he's
great in
kind of
that.
older now, and he's
Sure.
maybe trying to think of a legacy and things like
Or
that.
he
He wants
just
to do
really
something a
liked
little
the
more serious.
role. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
It's
late
fantastic
90s, early
casting.
2000s, Orlando Jones was the comedy relief guy.
make 7 up yours. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he got a paycheck. I hope he made $1
I
billion
hope he did
doing it.
too. But no, he if I had to pick one favorite character in this movie, it's Harry Block. It's Orlando Jones.
He is by far
so
the most outgoing character in the film. He has the most happen to him.
Oh man, does he?
He has the biggest story arc, I think, in this whole thing because I mean,
Yeah,
when it all comes down to, I mean, he saves the day.
he does. Well, yeah, but it is an ensemble effort. And what I do like is that it's not the super smart scientists. Even Ira Kane, David Duchovny, I'll loop him into that. It's not them who figure out how to do it. I mean, Ira looks at the periodic table of elements and figures out what their poison could be, since they're nitrogen based and we are carbon based on our poison,
Yes.
He does that. But he didn't know where to get all that fucking selenium. It's two like college, like absolute idiots throughout the movies who are like, yeah, here. And then it's Orlando Jones who administers the cure, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's a horrible idea. Kills me.
Not to give everything away, there's definitely going to be spoilers in this episode.
Oh, well, I can't talk about it without.
We're just going to talk about it.
Go watch it though, man.
Definitely off the cuff.
It's
and
fucking
we're
funny.
going to be skipping around a lot.
I don't care.
What I think makes these particular movies work, because this wouldn't have done well as just a zany teen movie.
No.
This needed the sci-fi element. Sure. This is what people are tuning in for. Like I said, I mean, there were tons of movies like this a little before this, with your Mars Attacks, your Independence Days. Mm-hmm. There were movies that came out, Galaxy Quest. There were movies that came out, I believe, slightly after this. Lost in Space was one that the remake
with Matt LeBlanc.
Yes, you had the Planet of the Apes, Tim Burton movie that came out around this time. So
that was a few years after. Yeah,
infusing sci-fi with comedy was definitely like the new hot shit.
Sure.
At this point in time, it was a big seller, and in a lot of ways, Ghostbusters was a sci-fi comedy.
Yeah, sure. It's just supernatural rather than alien based.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's still invader and weird and human quirky scientists fighting it in different ways.
Yeah. And that's kind of, Ivan Reitman. I definitely think that this man had an affinity for scientists.
Sure. Yeah.
I think he was definitely into science.
Well, yeah. And I think this movie works so well, again, mainly because of the chemistry between David Duchovny and Orlando Jones. But you and I are coming at this from opposite things, because you were an X-Files nerd and I never saw it before I met you. So I did not know Fox Mulder at all when I saw this.
No, I definitely saw this after already watching X-Files. I think the first feature movie I saw David Duchovny in was California. Uh-huh. And like I said, I don't think
he was in California and Californication.
Yes.
Those are
yeah.
Is it California with a K?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
With Brad Pitt
remember that.
And Juliette Lewis and
Okay.
But again,
he was in Twin Peaks.
He was in Twin Peaks, and he did play an excellent character in Twin Peaks. But I had not been a Twin Peaks fan before I saw X-Files.
Yeah.
X-Files was definitely one of those things that I looked forward to. There were 3 TV shows in my life when I was younger, and X-Files was definitely one that I did not want to miss it. I recorded every episode, so I would have the seasons. Tapes. Yes. And then later in the 90s, they started releasing them on VHS, and I went and bought those. So, it's very hard for me to associate David Duchovny with anything but the X-Files.
Whereas I had never seen it. I saw him in Twin Peaks, but that's a little bit part, and I hadn't seen that for a long time. So this, believe it or not, was my main introduction to David Duchovny. And, now that I've seen the X-Files because of you, it's very clear to me that while Fox Mulder is, he's not technically a scientist type guy. He's still he's still a government agent who Ira Kane is a former government agent. And
he is an agent, but I would say at his heart, he's a UFOologist, or whatever you want to call those people. Ufologist. But I mean, get done with that shit. His sister was abducted by aliens, and he was there to witness it. Yes. So obviously, he's going to believe.
So while he has some humor to him, especially up against Scully, he's not a funny character necessarily, and he's got a lot of fucking trauma. Ira Kane is more overtly funny, but from a more apathetic way, because he has a lot of trauma too. His entire fucking world was brought to shambles because of a vaccine that he had made that didn't work out so well, and he lost it. He worked in the Pentagon. He lost his fucking job, ended up at a community college in
Caused
Arizona.
all kinds of horrible side effects, killed people.
Yeah, and is very much just, fuck it all. Like, yeah, sure, guys, here, fuck the bell curve. Everyone got an A. Even these two guys whose papers were absolute bullshit got C minuses. He doesn't really care anymore about
Danny
anything
and
until this happens. And then you've got Harry Block, Orlando Jones, who is the geology professor there, but really he thinks of himself as a volleyball coach for the girls' volleyball team. And that's where his interest is, and getting laid and stuff like that, far more than actual geology. And so then this event happens, and they happen upon the discovery of alien life, and holy shit. And so they end up, there is character arcs throughout this, but they never lose the funniness. They never become super serious, even when things are very serious.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you've ever seen like a buddy cop movie, that's what these two characters are.
So good,
they are buddy cop, but they're scientists.
Yeah, but what I was talking about before, when you were like, "What do you miss the most?" and I was like, something about their dynamic. It's literally that David Duchovny, Ira Kane's a white man, Orlando Jones is a black man, and they comment on it. And there's little byplay between them that I think is so fucking funny, because like Orlando Jones will get super mad like at the government, and David Duchovny is like, the white man, you've got to learn how to speak to the white man. He does not like to be yelled at. And we're like, there is this racial byplay that is very funny, not offensive. And it comes from a bonding and an understanding of two friends with different backgrounds who are able to poke fun at each other and themselves.
Well, and that
wouldn't happen today.
It seems natural too.
Very much. Dude, you rag on your friends all the time.
I can say that for the movie.
Sure.
With the relationship between David Duchovny and Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
That's the most natural relationship in this entire movie, because they introduce Julianne Moore, who is Allison.
Yeah,
in
Allison
the movie.
Reed.
And she is literally just there to be the love interest. She's the connection to the government that they need.
I really do think she's a play on Scully. I would not be surprised to find out that they hoped to get Gillian Anderson, but then they couldn't for whatever reason.
I am glad they didn't.
Because it is another red-haired medical doctor, scientist, super, more buttoned up, more serious. I do know that Julianne Moore is the one... now you've got me saying it. God damn it. That Julianne Moore is the one who wanted her to be clumsy. The like over the top slapsticky type bullshit.
Yeah, she drops shit. She'll trip over her own feet. She runs into doors. She is definitely clumsy. She
specifically asked to that be a part of her character, so that she was a comedic part too. And so she wasn't just seen as this like flawless sex symbol type. Whatever.
Well, and I would argue that she's not even sexing it up in this movie at all.
No. Well, no. I mean, if you ask Orlando or you ask Harry Block, I mean, she definitely is.
There are definitely movies that she's in, such as Boogie Nights. Where being highly sexual is what she's there
Big Lebowski.
To do.
Fuck, I could not think of she's definitely more sexual in Big Lebowski.
Yes.
She actively tries to get pregnant.
Yeah. But in this film, I mean, she is more reined in. She is not like she's not sexy in this movie at all. Like it's not about that. I
love her hair. Oh,
she works for the government.
In this.
She finds out that with Ira and Harry discovering this new species, basically alien species that hits the Earth in a meteor. She finds out that like the government's doing some pretty fucked up shit, because these two are the ones who found it. Basically, they deserve credit for what they found, and they were the first ones to analyze it, figure out what it is. Right. And
I think she's the voice of reason in this movie, because to be fair, Ira and Harry cannot keep this to themselves. The entire time.
Yes,
They
the entire
can't.
time that they found
No
this thing,
fucking way.
they're wondering how much money they're going to make off this, or
Yeah,
how
the Nobel
famous they're going
Prize
to
and
get.
all of that.
They're going to win a Nobel Prize.
Right. I know Ira sees this as his ticket out of here and all of that.
Yes.
But the government, when they do come in, just want to whitewash it and like strip their contributions. And she is the one in between. She works for the government, but who is like, I mean, at numerous times in this, there's a couple of scenes where she's shouting in the background, "This is bullshit!" Like, she just wants what is right.
There's my problem with the movie. The only problem that I have with this movie is how unrealistic it is, how these people gain access to areas.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
This is one of those movies
able to
where
waltz in.
it works on the logic where if you knock out the guard and steal his clothes, people just assume you work there.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it would work for privates, probably. They probably don't know who all the officers are necessarily. But I don't know. It's 2001, man. There were security cameras, right? By this point,
yes.
you know, but
Especially at a site where alien life was discovered.
Top level secret, like world confidential level government secret shit. You know,
I would argue they had that shit in the 80s. So yeah, definitely by 2001.
Yeah, I mean, but you have to suspend belief a little bit as far as that stuff goes. I mean, I would question the evolution on some. Why were there still flatworms in some parts, but fully formed like amphibious creatures in others? You could say that maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but I will say most of the graphics hold up, aside from some CG stuff that really does not look all that good.
Well, and, you know, kudos to, you know, the team working on this movie because they did a lot of practical too. Mm-hmm. And I think that helped sell a lot of these scenes because anytime you have one of these creatures in CGI form,
it doesn't really work all that well.
Not really, because you know, this era they didn't get lighting correctly.
And
so
texture.
Texture and lighting is very important when it comes to CG. And you know, when this era of movie, if you take something like Dark City, right? Mm-hmm. That relied heavily on CGI special effects. And that movie came out in 98, but it was done very well because they knew the limitations of CGI at that point, and they kept it out of the sun. They kept it out of the light. It was a very dark movie, so it hit a lot of those flaws. Whereas this movie takes place in the daytime.
Yeah, and in Arizona.
In Arizona, yes. So you get these creatures in harsh lighting, sunlight, things like that, and it just doesn't really work.
Yeah, most of it is like the just kind of muscular style, like when you add fire and when they get real big real quick, it's just big dumb muscle. Right? There's no real like head or tail or like any of that. It's just it's very flat, kind of modeled and very shiny, you know? Yeah.
I think when it comes to the CG, the only scene in the movie that I think was done extremely well is when they find the worms next to the meteor.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was all done with CG and it looked incredible.
It looked great.
But then you have other, what do you want to call them? These amphibious things, like the thing that comes out of the closet that just looks like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, but then the inside of its mouth, the like bird thing, that looked good. So I think that it's probably because I think when that dropped back, it was a puppet. Yeah, because it's very almost Jim Henson-y with the like the little thing that happens, and it would need to bite the lady because they weren't really CG in those days was not often directly interacted with by the actors because it would have been too confusing. You're usually looking at it and going, you know.
This era of filmmaking, they were still trying to figure it out.
Sure.
You know, Jurassic Park was a thing all of its own. Mm-hmm. It managed to pull it off flawlessly.
I mean, that was mostly practical stuff too.
Ever since then, you know, you had movies like The Mask with Jim Carrey that, you know, you go back and watch it today and you're like, wow, that really is early CG. And then Toy Story came out and it progressed it a little more. So by this time, it was not perfected. They were still trying to figure things out. And this movie, you can definitely tell that.
They do.
I mean, it was top notch for the time. Yeah. But watching it today, it kind of comes off as like a sci-fi channel.
Yeah, sure. There is a lot of puppetry too, though, and practical, like you said. And that does help.
Yes.
And a lot of most of the CG stuff would be like the bugs in the background to help bring like the alien terrarium situation to life more, like filling it in so they don't have to do all puppet work all the time for everything.
Right. It was there to enhance
the right
the
use.
scenes.
Yeah. The big guy at the end does not look very good. But again, once they get under it, it's clearly that there is a thing there, like that they are interacting with. It's real. It's not CG.
Right.
They just created this weird like ceiling type thing with a huge
and
hole.
Another movie I can compare this to would be like a Starship Troopers, where they used heavy CG for the time, but they also did a lot of practical for like interactions with close-ups and things like that. So it was believable.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch Starship Troopers today, you can tell that it wasn't.
Well, yeah, you could, but it was mainly for like untold millions of bugs rushing like this huge moving landscape, and you're like, oh fuck. Rather than, like the brain bug, I'm pretty sure did actually exist, and that thing is disgusting.
Yeah. And just so everyone listening is aware, like Evolution was not a low budget, indie film. This was meant to be a Hollywood blockbuster summer movie.
It had an $80 million budget, and it made $98.4 million in the box office.
So there you go. And you would consider that a failure just mainly because the budget of the movie doesn't even include all the marketing.
I suppose that's true.
And things like that. So I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, DVD sales would have driven those profits higher because, like I said, DVDs were big at this point in time. Blockbuster Video was probably, renting out hundreds of thousands of these things every week.
Sure.
With all their locations. But yeah, I would say that financially this movie was kind of a flop, especially when compared to something like an Independence Day.
Well, it's a different audience that you're going for with that, too. This is very much more a parody of alien invasion than meant to be taken more seriously like Independence Day was. But yeah, it said that it received mixed to negative reviews from film critics, basically about its storyline, screenplay, and pacing. But the performances of the cast were praised. They're like, they did a good job.
I mean, with what they were working with, because this, I got to be honest here, I think the script was really light.
Sure.
I don't think this was one of those scripts that gives the actors a whole lot to do. And I think they focused more in on the relationships between the characters versus the reality of the situation that they are in.
Sure. And I'd actually be curious to know how much of the byplay between David Duchovny and Orlando Jones was off the cuff. Because again, you talked about how natural they seem.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised to find out that a lot of their little quips back and forth were at least added to or just made up on the spot.
I could see a lot of the interactions being ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Maybe they, what they thought would be an outtake, they left in the film. It definitely has that feel to
right
it.
Here by your lonesome? I don't believe that was written in the fucking script. Deadpan.
Yes.
I
do believe that
there
there was a fair amount of ad lib.
Yeah. And they're just like fucking playing off
between
each
the
other.
characters. But I think that the strength of the film is not in the writing at all, because I don't think this is a well-written film. I just think it's a well-executed film. And especially as far as like, getting asses in the seats to go see a summer blockbuster, this had all the elements correct.
Mm-hmm.
I think that where the film suffers is that, this, like we mentioned, it's an end of the world scenario. This is a terrifying situation that humanity would be put in, and it would get out of their control extremely fast.
Well, that's the thing. I think that they were lulled into a false sense of security because throughout most of the movie, the aliens were not able to leave their atmosphere that they had created. And so now it's like this is interesting, let's watch. But the whole point of it's so irritating because of course they're going to evolve to become oxygen tolerant. You see how fast they're evolving.
Yes.
What the fuck?
What did you say? It was like 20 million years of evolution that happened in a few hours.
Yeah.
So, I think that even with that being the case, they didn't really convey that correctly either, because if they can evolve 20,000 years in a matter of hours, I mean, this movie takes place over the course of 3 days?
Longer than that, maybe about a week. But
a week?
Yeah, because it goes from nothing all the way to primates, right?
So yeah,
it's
you
pretty
would
good.
think that
Well,
this would get out of hand really quick.
I think that David Duchovny initially they have 10 base pairs, right? That's a chromosomal thing. We have 4.
Right.
So it indicates a much more complex and alien as shit life form and I assume that's how they're able to do it so quickly. But he's the only one at first who is like blown the fuck away by this. But then I think in his mind, he again sees it as his ticket out. So then it becomes keep it hushed so we can get more information.
Well, okay. There was no way they were going to keep this quiet.
I didn't say it was a practical thought, but
because here's how this goes in real life.
He thought his life was over and he was in a dead-end job in a community college.
Here's how this works in reality, right? Sean William Scott.
Oh, yeah. We haven't
Wayne,
even talked about him at all.
His character, he's trying to be a fireman, right?
Yes.
So he drives out into the desert and he's got this shack in the middle of the desert that he sets on fire. He throws a mannequin in there and he's trying to, he's practicing being a fireman because he wants to pass his exam and become a fireman.
Right.
Cool. A meteor hits exactly where he is.
Yep.
And that sets the whole string of events off.
Right.
Something of that magnitude would not be off the radar of the government.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
So immediately, as soon as Ira and Harry go in there and they start doing their thing, this was going to be a scenario where the government comes in, Ira and Harry and Wayne are all kidnapped. Yes, men in black come and take these 3 away.
Ooh, what
they
a
quarantine
crossover
them.
that would have been.
They quarantine them immediately in a cell somewhere.
Yeah.
The government gets the alien DNA, whatever the fuck that they need to get, and the story that they give to the public is that a fucking insane person, Wayne, was out in the middle of the desert and set a shack on fire and blew it up. Mm-hmm. That's the reality of this situation.
I would say there is
because this is one of those corny, offbeat teen comedy, sci-fi, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, this works on movie logic where you can just knock out a soldier, steal his clothes, and gain access somewhere. Or, Ira, and I think it's Ira that has more of a connection in with, I think it's the CIA at this point that they're dealing with, because it's not the military yet.
It's the military and then the CDC.
Okay. For some reason, I thought this was like CIA. The CIA got involved, and then they got the military involved.
It's the Department of Defense and then the CDC.
Okay. But it still works on that logic of it's not believable. That I think that the biggest flaw of this movie, for me at least, it seems like the way that they gain access to all these things and the way that they're getting information in this movie is lazy. It's written lazily. It's the laziest writing, honestly, that you can do. Knock out a soldier and steal his uniform, and now you can gain access.
Yeah, but I think that's almost more a callback to like 70s. They used to do that type of shit all the time in movies. Like that's a thing that has been a thing.
But
for
by
a long
2001,
time.
I feel like they could have written this better. And it could have been that David Duchovny's character was part of the government.
He was before.
But they don't explore that. They mention it, but they don't explore how he would have connections in there other than Julianne Moore becomes his love interest. And now she's
he used to work with
finding out that the government is doing fucked up things and taking the credit away from Ira and Harry. And she's not okay with that because she's attracted to David Duchovny.
No, he used to work with Ted Levine at the Pentagon before he lost his job.
But he never worked with Allison.
No, they didn't know each other at all.
Exactly. Her character comes in and she's just immediately attracted to him. He's immediately attracted to her for all that they do their bullshit back and forth that she's like this cold shoulder bitch or whatever.
When really
she
she's
needs
just
a good
trying
humping.
to be professional.
Yeah.
And take this seriously.
Exactly.
Because what the fuck is going on?
But then she starts having feelings that feel forced, by the way. The love interest between David Duchovny and Julianne Moore in this feels forced. It just does.
I do think it kind of comes
rushed.
out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere, other than they are just the 2 main attractive characters in this movie. So clearly
Poor
they need to
Orlando
end up
Jones.
together.
Poor Ted Levine.
I mean, that's what this is. Like, we can't dance around that fact.
No, it's a matter of opinion. But I think it started off with her just, I think she understood where he was coming from once she learned his background, even though she did, because she called him out on being highly irresponsible, which he was. So she's not wrong in that. She's one of the most correct people in this movie. And like I said, I think she's the moral center, because at first it is them who are highly out of line. How dare you keep all of this a fucking secret? Did you think this was going to work? Have you even considered the consequences? Or are you just thinking of yourself and trying to get yourself back in the spotlight? Look at what you did in the past. Look at all these people you hurt and gave like permanent debilitating conditions to. And all you're thinking of is yourself. And he's like, well, but then she starts to understand where he was coming from, and then also sees the fucked up shit the government is doing out of spite, because Ted Levine does a lot of shit purely because he does not like Ira Kane. He doesn't fucking like him. Yes. And now I'm the one in power. So actually go fuck yourself, which also isn't right.
Yes, there is a petty feud between General Woodman and Ira, because they have worked together in the past. And it comes off as petty. Yeah,
it's extremely petty, but he also doesn't hide the fact that he's being petty.
Again,
he doesn't care.
That just adds to the more, unbelievable aspect of this movie, because no government official in any capacity would let that stand in the way of
I beg to differ.
It's not believable. Like, there's so many parts of this movie that just aren't believable. You do have to suspend your disbelief and just go with where this movie is taking you.
I mean, now I would tend to hope that at least there's checks and balances within the system that would prevent him from acting like that. But if you think that government officials aren't just petty ass people, you out your fucking mind.
And you're correct. And even if General Woodman was definitely this petty type character, like you said, the checks and balances need to be there, but everyone falls in line as soon as he opens his mouth.
Yeah.
He gives an order and they just fucking do it.
Because he's also the highest ranked person there until the governor comes in, and then the governor is like, oh, hell no. But then due to situations, he actually goes with Ted Levine's plan to napalm and everything like that. You know, I think a lot of the characters in this movie are almost more caricatures of the different roles they're playing, rather than to be taken seriously. Like, I'm expected to believe this is an actual person who really acts like that. This is still a comedy, and it's kind of a goofy comedy at that. Take like Naked Gun or something like that, or Hot Shots, right? There's plenty of people in government situations and that are absolute fucking buffoons, but it's supposed to be that way. Obviously, this one isn't quite as just stupid as those. Those aren't really my flavor of comedy. But I do think it's meant to be slightly unbelievable in a lot of ways.
General Woodman goes through this movie as the butt of everyone's joke. Right? People are disrespecting him all the time, to the point where David Duchovny at some point just like flashes his ass
he
at
moons him. Yeah.
And I just don't think that a character like this in reality would put up with that. Yeah. I think there would be court martials, there would be all kinds of shit.
Sure, but again, there's so many, I understand what you're saying, but this is still a goofy comedy. So,
yes, I mentioned, you have to suspend disbelief and just go where this movie is taking you.
I mean, Sean William Scott was made a fully fledged firefighter by the governor at the end just for helping save the world. When he had miserably failed his test, that wouldn't work.
Well, and I will say this, when this movie came out, I went and saw it in theaters.
Yeah, me too.
I went with friends, and this was definitely that point in my history where I was heavily smoking pot.
Oh.
And
I wasn't. I just thought it was funny.
When I saw this on DVD after that, I was still kind of a pothead. So I definitely think that helps. No, because there are a lot of
not always.
There are a lot of there's a lot of weirdness in this movie going on.
Sure.
Right. And especially with the special effects and the way that these creatures move and interact with each other. Yeah. And they use a lot of it to transition from the comedy into what is actually going on here. And it really does kind of fuck with your brain in that kind of way, especially when you're altered by something like that, that it's constantly relieving you with comedy, but also showing you that this is a terrifying situation.
Oh, dude, those primates are legit fucking creepy. Like, actually creepy.
But I do think that another point where this movie suffers is the action. When it comes down to them interacting with one of these species where it's a life or death situation, nobody's taking it seriously. They play it off as like it's a joke. And the scenes where they are fighting with these things just come and go so quick. There's you don't get any sense of danger here. There's no sense of anybody in this movie dying, really.
No, Barry dies. The asshole at the country club. Off screen, but
he gets dragged into the water. You assume he's killed, but you know, in a way, like.
But you don't feel too bad because he's been a dick to Sean William
It's
Scott
all secondary characters. They'll introduce a secondary character that immediately gets dragged off by one of these things or gets bitten by one of these things. There's no stakes here.
Well, I will say something along your line of thought that always didn't really make sense to me. And I saw this movie. You know my feelings. I am not a partaker of marijuana. I don't really care if people do it. It's just not for me.
Sure.
I don't like it for myself. But not for me. You do it? Okay, fine, whatever. So I saw this movie a lot in theaters, specifically the Dollar Theater. My sister and I went often because during this summer, I had just gotten my first car. I wanted any excuse and no money, right? So Dollar Theater, hell yeah. And this was there for quite a while. So we went, I think I saw this 11 times in theaters.
Jesus.
It was because it was funny.
I think I've seen this like 5 times in my lifetime.
Well, that's what it was. We did that for a while because it got us out of the house. We got to feel like we were going and doing something and didn't have to spend a lot of money. So, and it was, I don't remember what else was in the Dollar Theaters at the time, but this was the only option, really.
Mulholland Drive would have been.
I would not have gone to see that in 2001.
That was a far more interesting movie to me.
Well, but no, what never made sense to me, even unaltered in 2001, is in the mall, why the dragon thing just takes the girl out of because there's this girl who doesn't matter. She's just like in the process of putting on a bunch of shirts so she can steal them. She's in the dressing room of a department store in the mall. She's stealing clothes. Right. And this dragon thing knocks at the door. Knocks on the door. And then until she opens it, and then it's like, ah. But then it just takes her by the arms and like flies her through the mall. It doesn't eat her. It doesn't even hurt her. It's like the talons don't even pierce her arms. Nothing happens to her. She goes for a little fly, and then Orlando Jones catches her, and David Duchovny shoots the thing. So I understand that. What was its plan though? Like if they weren't there, was it went to the mall to take her. But why? Jess, what are you not understanding? Well, here? I'm like, was it maybe planning on bringing her back to the area where maybe more babies were? Maybe it was like a mother bird type situation. But when you were saying there's no real stakes and people aren't in danger, that bitch should have been. First of all, why did it knock on the door? No one in this movie is in danger, really. No. A couple of characters get bitten by something. Orlando Jones gets a bug under his skin, which leads to a scene in this movie. He does so well with that performance. Where he has to get tongs forced into his rectum, and they grab the bug out of his rectum. Yeah. And, it's the funniest scene in the movie. It's really good. He does such a good job. And Julianne Moore and David Duchovny, they're being his because it is very clearly like an almost a birth type scene, right? And they're like, push, to breathe, it's okay. Just relax, man. Okay. Just let it happen. Oh my God, it was like that big, man. You took it like a chair. Yeah, you took it like a man. And she's like, you're so big, you're so brave. Yes. So, I mean, that's what you're getting into here. It's so funny. I don't care. At the end of the day, this is a corny comedy sci-fi movie. Yes. You're not supposed to think about it. No. You're not supposed to overthink. You're not supposed to really think about like the science behind any of this stuff. Well, I mean, technically speaking, do we even know that selenium would? How do we know that they follow the same pattern of chains because they're nitrogen based and we're carbon? It was a guess. Right. Anyway. And we're going to get to that because I feel like the ending of this movie. But I think that was really cool. The ending of this film was extremely rushed. Well, yeah. I think that they sure did get a lot of Head and Shoulders out of nowhere. Yeah, and that's eventually what does it in. Like,
it's selenium. Is
but the
what you
idea
have to
behind
use.
it, even though it's completely untested and doesn't necessarily work.
But even
it's cool.
when they use the Head and Shoulders to kill the big because they find out that fire exacerbates their growth.
Right. And Ted Levine is
the government's plan is to use napalm
to burn
to destroy these things,
Yes.
which is, the
Without
main characters are
testing.
the only ones so far who know fire is going to create catastrophic.
Well, and it is weird.
outcomes.
Like none of the government scientists thought to test that out just in case.
Right. But
No. Okay.
so they're the only ones who know that fire makes it bigger and more aggressive.
Super fast.
And selenium is the only thing that kills it.
Maybe they don't know.
Maybe.
That. Yeah.
Because of the periodic elements chart that was on the back of
Periodic
Julianne
table
Moore's
of elements,
shirt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And David Duchovny, Ira, his
he makes
character,
a little, a
figures
connection
out-
between being carbon-based like we are and arsenic and then nitrogen and selenium. And
fine.
I like that.
I don't even hate that.
Dude, I will buy that as a possibility. Thank you for putting that much thought into it.
So the government tries to blow it up, and it turns out that this thing just starts growing exponentially.
Yeah.
And it's this tentacle, like almost a
just the most
Lovecraftian,
primitive, yes,
like tentacle beast.
primitive
and it
muscle,
gets
dumb
to be
headless,
the size of
just
the desert.
Yeah, it's big. Well, and to be fair, they did try to tell the government, and Ted Levine didn't take the call. He was like, because whoever that the lady is who comes in, and she's like, "Hey, Dr. Reed's on the phone. She has a really important thing she needs to tell you." And he's,
He just
tell her I'm
ignores
not
it.
available. So so they have to try and figure out how to stop it on their own because they know the government isn't going to help.
Right.
But I do like how they figure out how to get selenium and who it is that does it. Because these two guys have been just kind of through the whole movie. They're just kind of like, "Hi, Dr. Kane." These two big, dumb college beer drinking. How they got into even community college is like a fucking question of mine. But and so like these smart people, all these scientists are like, "How are we going to get that much selenium?"
We can
Oh
get
my
it.
God, no. Oh yeah, we can get that for you.
We
He's
can
like
get it.
500 gallons.
And it's like, well, it's the main ingredient in Head and Shoulders.
It's the active
They're
ingredient.
like, how do
is
you know
selenium
that? You don't
sulfide.
know shit.
Haven't you noticed how shiny and flake-free our hair is?
Right. So there you go. The two idiots that are failing their classes, because of that, David Duchovny is like, you just got your A.
And of course, because Sean William Scott was training to be a firefighter, somehow he has access to a fire truck. Shush, don't think about it.
Yeah.
So some people go off to the I assume he goes to the fire department and is like, "Hey, aliens," and they just let him take it because all of a sudden he has a fire truck.
Well, they definitely don't show him getting the fire truck. It's just
they
there.
Don't. He just,
which again,
he says he'll get it. And
lends to the fact that this movie is not, well, it's entertaining.
Don't think about it.
It is. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
It's
It's
highly
fun.
entertaining. It's not well written. There are
Don't think about
tons of flaws
Don't think about it.
in the writing in this movie. And you definitely notice it while you're watching it. And there's some parts where it kind of takes you out of it. But again, for what it is,
Especially
just a
back in the
zany
day, I
cornball
just ran
Hollywood
with it.
blockbuster alien invasion movie.
Sure. Well, and it is a
Turn your
parody
brain
of a
off.
lot of that type of shit too. I definitely think that it's a parody of anything from the X-Files to Independence Day and stuff like that. It's meant to be silly
Yeah.
and kind of nonsensical.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not taking itself seriously.
No, there's
all,
too
whatsoever.
much butt stuff in this movie.
There's too much comic relief. There's too much, like, these characters, like I said, they go through this movie without really feeling the gravity of
No.
what they're up against here.
I
Because
mean-
this is annihilation.
And yes, and it is very serious, but even still, even when they're at that point, the pettiness from Ted Levine in particular doesn't sweat. He's convinced he's right. We'll just napalm him. Shut the fuck up. It's fine.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, General Woodman, his entire character in this is just, he's military.
Yeah.
He is a military man.
He needs a military.
He
man.
is-
Sorry.
His whole goal here really is just to use the most excessive force. He gets
He's
off
just
on
here
using
to
excessive
fucking
force
kill
of the
things and blow
military.
shit up, man.
And he thinks that blowing things up is the solution to all your problems.
Sure.
which, like I mentioned, the main characters find out that blowing it up or setting it on fire is only going to exacerbate the situation.
Yeah, he doesn't even test that.
Right.
Like
he doesn't care.
Little goo or something.
Because, for all we know, in the past, his experience has been blow it up and that solves the problem.
Sure. I think he's been looking for an excuse to use a lot of napalm.
But there's tons of characters in this movie that are just idiots.
Yeah.
From the government to civilians.
Everyone's stupid in one way or another in this movie.
Everyone is acting,
or at least makes real dumb decisions.
This is not like one of those situations where you go outside of your house and you're going to encounter people like this. You might find one here or there, but this entire cast of characters, with the exception of the three main characters, right, are just fucking stupid idiots.
Maintain they're all stupid too. Ira's fucking stupid and Harry both for keeping this under wraps as long as they did. Allison is ridiculous. She literally just gets angry that they're not giving credit and quits her job. She's like, oh, who wanted to be the whatever director of the CDC anyways? And I'm like,
yes, but the reason why I don't consider them idiots of the film is because, the Ira, Harry, and Allison, they are the ones that solve the problem, right? And Allison, to a lesser degree, but she is the one that wore the shirt with the periodic
that he was
elements
given
chart.
Because he gave her a shirt that was in his classroom or something, I guarantee you.
Yes. So let's just take her out of the equation and say Ira and Harry are the lesser of the idiots in this movie, because like I said, this is a dumb movie.
Yes, it is.
It's a big, dumb, blockbuster movie.
It's a himbo of a movie.
A lot of
big, dumb, and fun.
A lot of idiots are interacting with each other, and through no fault of their own, they managed to solve this situation.
But again, that's why I like so much that it is arguably two of the dumbest people in the movie who come up with the answer of how to get the selenium. If those two dumb fucks weren't there, humanity would have been wiped the fuck out, because they happened to, and I guarantee you, the reason they knew is because they have just been standing in the shower, like with their mouth hanging open, reading the back of the shampoo bottle.
Yes.
Or going to the bathroom and they can't remember to bring anything to read, so they're looking at the back of the shampoo
100%.
bottle. That is how that happened. I promise you.
Yes.
So I like in a movie like this is not meant to be taken seriously. That is the perfect solution. 10 out of 10. I love that that's how, because of course, in a movie like this, they're the only, wonderful. Because now that also justifies their inclusion throughout this whole fucking movie.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, this was never going to win awards.
It was not made to.
It was not made to be an award-winning comedy or sci-fi movie. It was just meant to entertain you for an hour and 40 minutes.
And I promise you, David Duchovny took the role because he wanted. I would think, if I had been Fox Mulder for a long time, to have the chance to be in it's more aliens, but it's like the anti-X-Files in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well,
that's fun.
The X-Files definitely had its silly moments and its monster of the week things, but there was an overarching story. It was a drama.
Yeah.
At its heart.
Yes.
That just had
and this
comedic
kind of
elements
takes
here
the
and there.
piss out of all those kind of things. So, and I will say that every single person in this movie looks to be having a fucking awesome time. Everybody's enjoying themselves.
They're giving it their all with the script that they were given. They're working well together. Yeah. So, okay, let's do this.
It's not a piece of cinema, okay? It's a fucking popcorn movie that I watched at the dollar movies.
What, in your opinion, did this movie do right?
The chemistry. Casting. Honestly, casting,
I agree. 100%.
10 out of 10.
I think that the
fucking
interactions
awesome
that they're having, they feel believable.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them feel a little forced. Like I said, the romantic
that's neither here nor
of
there.
David Duchovny and Julianne Moore feels forced.
That's again more writing, though.
Yeah.
That's more writing than
the strong point of this movie is definitely not the writing.
It's the performances.
It is definitely the interactions of the characters, the comic back and forth that you get out of
if you're gonna have
Ira and Harry.
If you're gonna have a character like General Woodman, he plays it perfectly. If that's the character, this like petty, boom goes the dynamite, napalm. It's like a caricature of a military general. he did a fantastic job. Everybody, even to what I don't remember, I think her name's Nadine. She's like the college student that's in Orlando Jones's class.
Yeah.
She pops up here and there. Even her little bit part is played to perfection. Like everybody in this movie. I mean, Sean William Scott, I asked you last night when we were watching this movie, did he ever do anything where he wasn't just fucking
An
stupid?
idiot?
Because to be
he
fair,
was from like
I was an honest question because I did not follow his career with great interest.
no,
so
from like
I don't know.
ever since he was in
Stifler.
he was in American Pie,
And then he was in Dude, Where's My Car?
everything until like 2006.
Yeah.
And then
He was in
disappeared.
Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
He was in this.
Yeah.
Wasn't
he
he was
in
in a movie with The Rock or something?
I think he was in the Dukes
Walk
of
Tall?
Hazard.
Oh,
movie.
probably with Jessica Simpson.
Yeah. So yes, he was definitely the stupid teen movie stoner comedy guy to go to throw in your movies.
Sure.
But as far as doing any dramatic role, I have no idea.
I would
because
love to find out he's been doing like local theater, like Shakespeare productions ever since then. That would make me
He's been doing
happy.
Broadway.
Yeah, oh my God.
But yes, so there's
So that's that, and then most of the puppet creature work, like the practical effects, I think
that's where I was
really
going to go
good too.
because this is an effects-driven movie.
Yeah.
Right. This was marketed as a special effects phenomenon
and
when it
there's
came out.
tons of different kinds of creatures in this.
Right. I think that adding the physical puppets and the bodies of these creatures for them to interact with, I think that was very smart on their part, even though it probably costs a lot more money to do that.
Sure. I mean,
I think it was
$80 million
necessary.
budget,
Yeah,
again,
it was definitely
in
necessary
2001.
to convey that these things are interacting together at certain points, or that there's just a body laying there, or the just the aftermath of them fighting with one of these creatures.
Yeah.
I think that was done well, and I think that practical was the best way that they could have done that.
Yeah.
So, what did the movie do wrong? What stands out as something they did not do well?
You and I look at things very differently, especially
Aside
if
from
it's
the writing.
something that I just enjoy. I love this movie, so I kind of gloss over possible flaws, and it's like my brain doesn't really take it in because so much of this is so enjoyable. Like I said, some of it just doesn't. I suppose, like I brought up with the girl in the mall, what was the plan? It doesn't fully make sense
That
to
felt
me.
padded. It felt like padding for the movie.
Yeah.
Because that scene was unnecessary. Like the fact that he drug her away, the dragon thing, took her.
And was just flying around the
She
mall.
wasn't a main character. She had no reason to be there.
Why did he knock on the
They
door?
weren't trying to save her. They were trying to kill the thing that took her.
Yes, but they were just there to kill it regardless.
Right.
And I like how they were able to just walk into, well, I guess people were leaving the mall, but even still, like they fucking stole guns and shot guns inside the mall.
They needed that moment in the film where one of these creatures goes into a heavy populated area, similar to like Jurassic World, right? Where the dinosaurs are all taking people from the bars and the shops and things like that. It's one of those types of scenes where that's what they needed for this film to give it some kind of gravity.
The movie breaks into the real world.
But aside from this girl in the dressing room, no one else is in danger.
Dude, it wanted her because it went past so many people. It crashed and like rolled around
to the point where it knocked on the door.
I mean, to be fair, I could have just rattled it. I don't know. You don't hear like a
that felt very strange. It felt very shoehorned into this movie. And it didn't raise the stakes at all. Because, like I said, she wasn't a main character. She was acting goofy. And this is one of those movies, too, where when people get hit or they get bit by something, they do the thing where they just, like, cross their eyes and they're like, oh! Yeah, it's...
Well, and again, with Julianne Moore, like, tripping, very slapsticky type stuff from time to time.
No one is taking this seriously.
No.
And neither should you.
That's
I think
not
that
the
you
movie
should
to
just
be taken seriously. Just enjoy it, man. It's fucking fun.
sit back, maybe drink a little, maybe smoke a little, take an edible or something, and just let this movie take you where it's going to go.
Enjoy the comedy.
Hey, you do you.
I will.
But I think at the end of the day, what this movie did right, it's the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's the casting, because like I had mentioned, I think a lot of this was ad-libbed. and not on paper.
No, that's just our supposition. We don't
Sure,
actually
but
know that.
you know, it definitely
But it
feels like
so natural.
it feels like one of
organic.
those movies where the writers really relied heavily on the casting to pull this off,
Right.
because the writing in this is not strong. It's very weak, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. The directing is great. Ivan Reitman's a great director.
Oh, sure.
I think he directs these types of films well.
R.I.P.
And yeah,
Actual R.I.P.
ever since Ghostbusters, you know, he's been kind of known for this type of
he
movie.
did like Meatballs. He did Animal House. and stuff
Sure,
like that. Or
yeah.
I think maybe produced. I don't remember. Stuff like that.
So yes, you're going to get a zany sci-fi cornball experience out of him. And I think it was directed fine, competently.
Yeah.
The writing is where this movie suffers. And if you think too hard, if you're dissecting what's going on here, it's not really going to work out
Then
for
you're
you as a
approaching
film.
this from the wrong angle, man.
No, this is a big dumb popcorn
end up-
Hollywood flick that you're just supposed to shut up, turn your mind off, sit in front of it, and
Like,
consume.
the way they defeat them is by shoving a fire hose full of Head and Shoulders shampoo up the ass of an alien creature until it explodes. If that sounds like something where you're like, how, and it makes logical sense within this movie.
Yeah.
If you want to see how the fuck you get like what? And Orlando Jones gets sucked up. Oh my god, it kills me, man.
And you're going to get good special effects. You're going to get bad special effects.
Yeah.
You're going to get
kind of funny special effects. You're like, oh man, that didn't work.
you're going to get
But
Orlando Jones at the top of his game.
I really do
here.
think so, because I was thinking while you were talking, and I think I enjoy David Duchovny. I enjoy everybody in this, but I think you could have found other people to pull it off as well, except for Orlando Jones.
Right.
I think if he had been replaced with anybody else,
you might have been able to pull it
off.
off with a Chris Tucker. Or that
No,
type of
they're
character.
fucking different. Chris Tucker needs
maybe
to
a
stay in
Marlon
Fifth Element.
Wayans could have pulled this off.
Maybe. I don't know. He's so specific in this, and he's my favorite part of the movie. He's so
Well,
he
he
does the
does a good
deadpan
job
so
too
well.
of
and the voice modulation, and oh my god,
because
his
his
timing is
character in this
impeccable.
movie is definitely of two minds, right? He is definitely a scientist, but he's also kind of like a streetwise
Well, I think
guy,
what he
you know,
is.
and he's trying to blend these two things together, and in some parts it comes off executed extremely well, and in other cases it feels kind of weird.
Well, I think what it is, did you? I'm sure you did. You had to have a teacher in high school for a class that was a coach, because they had to teach a fucking class.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He is the volleyball coach for this college who has to teach geology. And because he signed up for the geology, whatever, there's some like whatever on the internet, like official government geological survey, whatever, that he just signed up for because he thought it would look good on his resume.
Right.
And that's why he was given, that's why they go out to contact in the first place, because he signed up for this thing on the internet. They want him to go take samples. He's like, hey, I need you to come with me, Ira, in case there's actual science that needs to be done. Because I don't really fucking care. Rocks is rocks, whatever. I'm just here for the volleyball. And then over the course of the movie, he starts taking it a little bit more seriously while still being himself. He's actually realizing that, oh no, there's actually more to this. And maybe I am a little more interested and invested in the geology and the science and all of that than I thought I was.
Yeah.
But he's very much, to me, like in high school, I took a webmastering class back when that was a thing. And my teacher,
R.I.P.
Microsoft front page, what up? And the teacher was the football coach. And he did not know anything about coding, about any fucking thing. It got to the point where he paid me hundreds of dollars to redo his football handbook because he was planning on leaving at the end of the year. And I graded the papers of the class. I judged the fucking websites that they were making. I got paid, and he was blown away when I made the bullet points little footballs. Like, he was like, oh, this is amazing. He was a cool guy. He should not have been teaching that fucking class.
Right.
That's how I see Orlando Jones in this movie.
Yeah, and
But he changes. And like you said, he has the best character arc.
there are scenes in this movie too where it's clear that the writers had no idea how technology worked. One specific scene is when, the government comes into the school, to the university, and steals all of their reports and everything, that all their documentation on these life forms. And it's one of those things where David Duchovny comes in and he goes over to the computer and he's just like,
and then
they took all the files.
Yeah, and then a thing just comes across the screen that says files not found.
Yes. So they rush through that real quick. So yes, you're gonna have to turn your brain off to enjoy this film.
It's just dumb fun.
It is big dumb Hollywood popcorn fun. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's
not a good movie, but it's a fun movie.
And for all that, this movie is like an hour and 42 minutes long. It doesn't feel like that.
No,
it does kind of have a brisk pace. You're enjoying yourself enough to where the movie doesn't seem like it's overstaying its welcome.
Sure.
It knows exactly what it is. It's self-aware.
Yeah.
And it did what it didn't do what it tried to accomplish, because apparently it failed in the theaters.
Well, I don't think so.
I think with DVD sales and everything, it probably balanced out.
It is considered a moderate commercial success.
Well, moderate don't cut it these days.
Well, no,
I've said many times, these days they want to spend, $500 million on a movie and get a $8 billion return on it. Yeah. So good luck to you out there trying to do that. But this movie would be considered, I guess, a moderate success. I would not consider that.
I mean, that's what it says. But it came out in summer of 2001. So I watched this a lot once it was in dollar theaters right before starting my senior year of high school.
Right. And I can't even think of what this movie was like up against.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
There's no reason for this movie to have kind of failed in the way it did, because I can't, for the life of me, in 2001, I think there was another Jurassic Park movie. Was it 3 that came out in 2001?
You're the year guy. I have no fucking idea.
Maybe that had something to do with the failure of this. I don't know.
It should have done better, just because like American Pie had already been out. That kind of comedy. Maybe this wasn't raunchy enough. I don't know, because this kind of mixes Ghostbusters with American Pie in some ways, just in the styles of humor.
Yeah, it feels like this formula should have knocked it out of the park.
Updated for the late 90s, early 2000s type stuff. So there's more butt stuff.
And again, you're coming fresh off the heels. Well, not fresh, but 1996, you had your Independence Day and Mars Attacks. You had Galaxy Quest in 99. Lost in Space, I think, came out in 2001, maybe 2002.
Did that work?
Lost in Space?
Yeah.
Yeah,
was that
made
success?
Yeah, that was a successful movie.
Jesus.
So
I refuse to watch
Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes came out in 2001, so maybe that was competing with this. So
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I
saw that in theaters.
Yeah. So I don't know what it was that hindered this movie from being more successful than it was, but I remember going and see it in theaters. I saw the trailers during the Super Bowl and all that shit. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's clear that they marketed this thing exactly as what you were getting.
Right.
If you go back and look at the trailers now, because I watched it not that long ago, but it's selling the movie for exactly what it is. Okay. It's not overhyping it. It's not underselling it. It's not leaving you confused as to what type of movie this is. It's telling you exactly what it is.
Interesting.
So it's strange to me that this movie did not perform better than it did. I don't think that it's one of those movies that's just not talked about really. You and I watch tons of movie reviewers on YouTube and stuff. This movie never comes up, but I think that I would recommend it. I would recommend every one of you go out and watch it. It's okay for what it is. What are you shaking your head at?
Oh, I was just looking to see what else was released in June of 2001, because I don't know. I probably... And most of these movies I'd never even fucking heard of. Like The Dogs, My Mother's Wedding, A Savage Art, The Life and Cartoons of Pat Oliphant. What? But then... Apparently, I bet you I can tell you what fucking killed this movie.
What?
Because something else came out in June of 2001.
What?
Shrek.
Okay. Well,
also
Shrek was...
Pearl Harbor and Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Fast and the Furious, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and Swordfish.
Go. Okay. That makes sense.
That's why.
That makes sense. For some reason, I thought those movies all came out in 2000, but yeah, okay. There was a lot of blockbusters coming out at that time that probably would have drawn people away from this, but I recommend you watch it. It's big dumb fun. It's something that you can just like I said, you can watch sober, you can watch inebriated, whatever
What?
drug of choice is, and get something out of it.
Not
But
whatever your drug of choice is. Maybe some you just shouldn't do.
but yeah, I mean, I recommend it.
Yeah, have a beer. Smoke
Out of
a
10,
pot.
I give it a
That's what
solid.
they say, right? Smoke a pot.
It's a solid 6.5 to 7.
See, I have a major soft spot for this movie. It's one of the funnier movies I know. I think it is just so fucking funny. Overall, it depends on if you're in the mood for something like this, I'm hard pressed to think of something funnier that is like, there's nothing else quite like this.
In this specific genre of sci-fi comedy, I think it's up there. It's up there with Galaxy Quest.
Definitely under, which I also fucking
It's up there
love.
with Mars Attacks. I mean, it's an ensemble cast, alien invasion movie.
It's another one of those where everybody's in this fucking movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were constantly going to be like, oh, there's that guy.
Hey,
Oh, who they are. Okay.
No Sam Rockwell unlike Galaxy Quest, but nothing's perfect.
Yeah. This is also one of those, like,
either.
the remake of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's that type of film.
Yes.
It's zany, it's corny.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to think. You're just supposed to shut your brain off and have a good time. And you're going to do that with this movie.
I think you should. I think it's very underappreciated. You said no one talks about it, and I think you're absolutely correct. And that sucks. I think it just came out at a time where there were several other fucking things. But I've never forgotten this movie. I've never forgotten
all of the
about
movies that we own are full of these types of movies.
Yeah.
We have a physical collection of movie, a giant physical collection of
He's
movies.
gesturing at the enormous wall of physical media we have
of these types of movies. And it's sad that they don't get talked about more, and they just kind of came and went. But yeah, it is what it is. So I guess we can call that an episode.
Yeah.
Jess, where can people find you?
I'm Jess Moon. I'm at JHL Moon on Instagram and Kind of Blue Sky. Not great at promoting myself or being super present on social media, but if you want to see pictures of like my cats and food and a concert we went to recently, that was awesome. I don't know, man. I have accounts there. I try and stop from doom scrolling, so
No, I get it. And do you own some kind of publishing house?
well, co-own. Yeah, I co-founded and co-owned Shadow Spark Publishing. Thank you, Chad. That was beautiful. We are an independent publishing house. We've been around for almost 6 years. Oh, we missed the anniversary. Fuck. It was 6 years in May, and we're recording this in August.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, no,
you're doing a
independent
lot
fiction.
behind the scenes, honestly, between owning the publishing house, doing the podcast for
Writing
your
the
publishing
books
house, doing
and-
this podcast, and being a writer.
Yeah.
Also working 40 hours a week, sometimes
At least.
way more.
And I play Stardew Valley a lot again too, and I'm really happy with that. My farm is coming along great. I'm in year 3. I'm going for perfection, you guys, and I'm already at Mastery 3, which is pretty good. Thank you. But no, shadowsparkpub.com. Check us out. There's a lot of cool shit on there, a lot of cool people, and you won't find anything that you can find anywhere else. I promise you that. We did that on purpose. Thank you.
Nice. And you can find me. I'm on social media. You can find me at Chad J. Moon on Instagram. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at The Pretty Little Podcast. We've got the YouTube channel at youtube.com/at The Pretty Little Podcast 69420. I want to take time out to thank each and every one of you for listening to this. All of you that comment, like, subscribe, like, it goes a long way. It really does. Like, I'm actually pretty proud of what we've been able to accomplish here in such a short amount of time, because we've only been doing this for what, a year and a half?
I don't know, something like
This
that.
podcast?
What is time? I don't know.
Yeah. Just shy of 2 years. And it's really nice to just, every day I'm getting notifications. Somebody else commented or someone else is following or whatever it is. So obviously it's reaching an audience. I looked at like our Buzzsprout analytics, and like we're apparently listened to in like 136 different countries.
Hell yeah.
Which is crazy to me that people in like Indonesia are listening to this podcast. But hey, we love Indonesia.
I would
we love you guys.
to go.
Australia, we love you guys.
Eat all of the street food.
But it is very, very appreciated. Each and every one of you listening right now help to, make this thing grow and turn into something that we'd like to see happen. So
Thank you.
thank you very, very much.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.
Bye.